You know, I oftentimes on this channel will go back and watch some of my videos and review the footage I put up and say, damn, I kind of sound like I'm a fanboy for Xbox, or I kind of sound like I hate this brand or hate that brand, and it's not the case, right? Um, I spent way more money than I'm willing to actually admit on all of these brands, right? I am a fan of gaming and all that it encompasses. Um, I find value in all platforms. I truly do love, uh, I truly do love gaming and what it represents and what it brings for people. I think this is the best art form, the most expressive art form in the world, and you have a hard time arguing me down from that totem pole, right? I truly love this stuff. So when I speak on like a couple of videos ago, PlayStation fanboy, and how I think he spends too much time worrying about a platform he doesn't even like. Understand, I'm not trying to platform wars. You know, as you know on this channel, if you've been a fan or have watched this channel long enough, you know I don't deal with grifting. I'm not a council warrior, right? Because I spent too much money on each brand for me to be like, yeah, well, I like this one more than the other. And what the hell did you spend that kind of money on it for if you're gonna talk down about it? So for me, it's it's deeper than that. What I need a lot of you cats to understand is that I am older, right? And by older, I mean that I am a person who not old enough to have played on Atari when it was new, but I was old enough to see an original Nintendo Entertainment System and be like, wow, this is amazing. The fact that something like this exists. I remember a time where every fall, or let's say end of summer around August, September, there were like 4 or 5 football games that would come out, and they all were NFL games, and they all had NFL players, or to some varying degree, they either had the NFL players license and not the NFL license. So the Chicago Bears would just be called Chicago, but the entire Chicago roster was on there. I remember there were like 7 NBA games one year that you had a choice of playing. And I remember thinking, this is fucking awesome, because what you had was 7 different teams of developers approaching this concept of basketball in a different way. I remember when the Genesis and the Super Nintendo each had their own versions of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. And you got to see how people got around the violence that was like really controversial in those games back then. I remember seeing other more obscure games having a Super Nintendo and a Genesis version, and seeing how the team who had the Genesis version took advantage of what the Genesis could do, as opposed to the team who built the Super Nintendo version taking advantage of what their platform could do. My whole point is this, because I know I feel like I'm rambling, but choice matters, man. Choice matters. Having the ability to say, you know what, this is cool, but I like what this is offering a little bit better. That is so goddamn important in the consumer space. And I don't think a lot of us who are in this gaming conversation respect that. And that's scary to me. A lot of these dudes will get on here and, again, spend too much fucking time talking about Xbox, something they don't like. And they think they're hurting that brand by talking to their audience about Xbox bad for 2 hours. Meanwhile, the house that you do like is burning down. Right? The recent developments of Xbox, like yesterday, as the day of this filming, this is Friday the 24th of April, 2026, when I'm filming this. Asha Sharma has dumped that Microsoft Gaming moniker. It's Xbox again. And she posted this epic Avengers Assemble style photo of her having a town hall meeting. And I'm guessing it's Redmond, California. Like, yeah, we back. I love that, not because I'm an Xbot, because I have a PlayStation 5 Pro. I have a PSVR. I have a Switch 2 and 2 controllers for it, and I spend money on all of these brands. I love that because I'm not going to lie to you, for a while it looked like Microsoft had given up. They had kind of relegated themselves to this idea that we can't catch up. And I'll put that on Phil Spencer as being the leader. Then when they looked like that, he was there. This woman has, and by this woman I mean Asha Sharma, respectfully, has reinvigorated not only belief in the brand, but the people who work there, which is very important. Is it better leadership? Some would argue yes, but it's definitely a different kind of leadership. It's a different kind of energy, which my last video talked about. It's necessary, right? It's very necessary for things to change, because Microsoft can't be a long distance third option. They need to be a viable, if they're going to be in third place or second place or whatever place they land, they need to be viable. Does that mean exclusivity? I don't know. I don't run a billion or $1 trillion company. I couldn't tell you shit about that. And most of the people who commented on this stuff really couldn't tell you. But I know it means being aggressive in a way that pushes the other companies around you differently. And I thought Microsoft was really going to relegate themselves down to being a PC and hiding in the app, and that's how they were going to sunset the brand. This is different. And I'm happy for it. Not because I want a console war, but because now, hopefully, because Sony's fan base has failed them, and I stand by that, maybe a good swift kick in the ass will make Sony be like, you know what? We need to get our shit together too. I have long championed the idea that Sony paying for something like a Phantom Blade Zero or a Neo, I remembered it this time, or any of these other games that they money had, even the Kena Bridge of Spirits game, that shit's stupid. You don't need to do that. And I argue, like, if you weren't spending your money on that, you wouldn't have had to close Bluepoint, because you'd had that money sitting there. If you don't spend your money paying people who don't belong to you, who are not indebted to you as a publisher, if you don't spend your money getting them to put their game exclusively on your platform, you can spend that money building teams and filling out teams to build games that you will own. They don't own Phantom Blade Zero. It might be on PlayStation for like a year. But even in that, the PC version is coming out at the same time, because that team was like, no, you're not trapping our game on console like you did Stellar Blade and hurting their potential sales. You're not doing that to us. We're still going to put on PC. PlayStation has a lot of changing to do, and they better get their shit together quick, because, as I stated before, Asha Sharma and Matt Booty are not playing. They're not playing, dude. Like, I am anticipating so much high tier energy between now and this June showcase. Like, they're going in. It's scary. Like, even the ID Xbox showcase they did yesterday, was amazing, right? And if you noticed, there were no PlayStation logos under any of those trailers. Yeah, those games are coming out on PlayStation, but Asha is already like, no, we're matching that energy. If they're going to showcase games and they're coming out on Xbox, but they're not going to show our logo, we're not showing their logo. And I told you guys before, even though I'm not big on exclusives, if you don't have an Xbox, a lot of that Xbox stuff, you plan on playing it, you might want to change your plans. It's just different, bro. It's just different. I rambled on about the 16-bit, 32-bit era in sports games and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, God, sports games, whatever. But sports games represented something that we've lost, right? Choice. And we almost lost that with platforms because Xbox was going to be PC. PlayStation was going to be PlayStation with 1 or 2 games a year. And Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. And if you ain't really with how those two do things, then it was going to be what it's going to be. Now you got this legitimate third option who is totally doing a full tonal shift on how they're going to approach this business, saying, yeah, we back. On top of that, SNK is apparently bringing back the Neo Geo and are doing full-on reproductions of their cartridges and may even be doing new games because they have a listing for pixel artists. If they start making new games, like, dude, gaming is Steam's got the Steam box. They're making all of these advances in software. This shit's amazing. I love this. But I'm focusing on Sony because I don't want them to die. They got too much good stuff in the chamber to just die. And if the PlayStation guys with the much bigger voices than mine don't say something, that's what's going to happen. I don't give a damn how many consoles you done shipped, sold, allegedly, whatever. You're going to die. Because Nintendo is like Disney. There's an embedded love there. They're the oldest gaming company that has a platform in the industry, right? Microsoft has money where they can do these cultural and tonal shifts on the drop of a dime and become anything they want to be. Because they aren't now what they were 2 months ago. And I guarantee you in 1 month, they'll be more different now then than they are now. At the pace Asha and Matt are moving, which is crazy. Needs to be studied. Sony, though, what is Sony? Soros and Wolverine this year. And probably a bunch of games that they thought they were getting. I would count 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe even getting indefinitely delayed or canceled. Based on the energy that Asha is kind of giving at this moment. And they got Phantom Blade coming too, but I mean, you can get that on PC. So who cares? That's what I'll be buying mine on. If I even get it. The whole point is, I hope that unlike the average PlayStation fanboy, that this is giving them a shot in the arm. They better get their shit together really quick, because if they don't, my gosh, what's coming? I just got a feeling it ain't gonna be nothing nice at all. And I don't want to see any of these companies go away because choices, as consumer choice, is way too important to me. You know, there may be phases where I'm only playing on my Switch or only playing on my Xbox or I'm on my PC right now or I'm on my PlayStation. There's phases when I can do that. I don't want to lose any of those choices. I want more. because the more there are, the better. The more on top of shit everybody has to be. Companies have to be nice when they don't have omnipotence. They have to be nice. They have to be nice to me as a person with money and time to spend on their products. So you see a lot of PlayStation dudes, some of these motherfuckers still running their mouth about Xbox, still saying stupid shit like, oh, all they're doing is changing up their strategy just so they could just come out one day and say, yeah, the Xbox brand is dead, we're closing everything down. You motherfuckers are the main reason why Sony is ass right now. You're the problem. And I truly wish you would shut the fuck up forever, because the fact that you're even thinking like that shows me you don't really care about this shit. You just want to win. It's pathetic. That platform you care about, that platform you claim is the best, ask them to do better. Because right now, this ain't it. It's not. And I stand on that. But tell me how you guys feel. Am I wrong? Is it okay to just talk about something you don't care about all day? Or should that just be a footnote in what you talk about? Do you just bring them up for frame of reference? Do you focus on what you actually like? Do you try to make that better? Because clearly one company is listening to its fan base and the other is comfortable because no one's telling them what they're doing wrong. And they don't feel like they need to change things and get better. That's just how I see it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let's have a conversation about it.